anything that I say, no matter how crazy, Usha has to smile and laugh and celebrate it.
My wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me.
But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD. Yes, I do.
Whispers are spreading like wildfire after shocking claims surfaced that J.D. Vance could be cutting ties with Usha and secretly growing closer to Erika Kirk, with insiders saying he might even marry her right before launching a 2028 presidential campaign. According to sources, Usha allegedly confided in friends after discovering private messages that suggest Erika has been plotting this connection for months. That seemingly harmless hug between J.D. and Erika? It wasn't just friendly, it was a calculated move, designed to test how the public would react to seeing them side by side. Now the internet is in chaos, and everyone's asking the same question: what happens to Usha if this rumor turns real? Close friends claim she's been spiraling lately, feeling emotionally abandoned and fearing that JD might already be building an entirely new life, one that doesn't include her.
What do you hope to achieve for Charlie and for the country?
Oh my goodness. All of his wildest dreams for this organization.
Some insiders believe Erika has been carefully crafting her image for months, appearing at elite events, making calculated moves, and subtly presenting herself as the future First Lady. When I confronted Usha Vance, she broke down. She said, "I held her hand and told her, honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to survive this." But things took an even darker turn when online investigators began linking this entire theory to Erika's past controversies, especially those involving her former business partner, Charlie. Now fans can't stop asking the question everyone's afraid to answer: was this all part of a long-term strategy to bury her old scandals, rebuild her reputation, and position herself right beside J.D. Vance as he steps into the political spotlight?
I confronted Usha Vance. I held her hand and I told her, honestly, I do not know how I'm going to get through this.
What's even more shocking is how online investigators have started linking this entire theory to Erika's past scandals, especially those tied to her former business partner, Charlie. Now the internet's buzzing with one burning question: was all of this a carefully orchestrated plan to wipe away her past, rebuild her image from the ground up, and position herself in the spotlight, right beside J.D. Vance as he moves toward a political future?
Ever replace my husband? No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he understands the fight that we're up against.
While nothing here has been proven, the rumors are exploding. TikTok and Reddit are jam-packed with timelines, leaked screenshots, and obsessive body language breakdowns. Every stare, every snapshot is under a microscope. People are starting to say this isn't only about politics or romance anymore. It's about power, image, and raw ambition. And if even a slice of this proves true, J.D. Vance's march toward the presidency could come wrapped in more scandal than anyone imagined. Now things get uglier. Word is Usha Vance may have finally put the pieces together, quietly digging, compiling evidence, and tracing connections bit by bit.
I don't think I've ever been this happy in my entire life.
Nothing is changing, but I want to preface, we're not awkward, we're not like weird, cringe. We're not cringe, we're not going to be tweeting as if it's him. That's tone deaf and really disturbing, and anyone who does that's like morbidly
Hey, we're going to be doing about 5 more episodes a week now, so just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3 hours of this, 2 more hours of...
It's like, lady, wasn't your husband just publicly executed only a couple of weeks ago? I've never had this much joy on my best.
And now it looks like Usha is starting to believe there's something far deeper happening between JD and Erika Kirk. Those close to her claim she's seen messages, photos, and even overlapping travel logs, enough to make her realize none of this feels like coincidence. According to insiders, Usha allegedly believes Erika has been laying the groundwork for this connection ever since Charlie's memorial, quietly tightening her bond with JD while the public's attention was elsewhere. But what really set the internet ablaze was that unforgettable moment at the Turning Point event in Oxford. You know the one, the now viral hug everyone's still breaking down frame by frame. Erika was on stage, giving a heartfelt speech about her late husband, but her body language told another story. Observers swear she couldn't hide a smile when she compared JD Vance to her former partner, calling him steady, loyal, and brave. That single moment had fans everywhere raising eyebrows and asking if this was more than just grief.
Imagine, Stuart, we kept what we've seen happen over the past 10 years going for the next 8 years, which is what a lot of people believe is going to happen, that the Democrats are in such a bad spot with no leader, no message, and nothing that the American people are interested in, that once Donald Trump ends his term, and we love the Trump 2028 hats, don't kid yourself, I know everybody, especially a lot of Democrats love those, then it will be J.D. Vance for the next 8 years, and that is terrifying to the Democrat Party.
Then
JD walked up on stage, and that unexpected hug unfolded right there in front of the cameras. At first glance, it looked harmless, maybe even compassionate. But once the context shifted, everything about that moment started to feel different. Now social media is flooded with slowed-down clips, freeze frames, and side-by-side analyses. People are saying things like, "That wasn't sympathy, that was chemistry." And suddenly, everyone's asking the same haunting question. Was this really a genuine, emotional exchange? Or was it the quiet, carefully staged soft launch of something much bigger happening behind the scenes?
My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India. When JD met me, he approached our differences with curiosity and enthusiasm. He wanted to know everything about me, where I came from, what my life had been like. Although he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, he adapted to my vegetarian diet and learned to cook food from my mother, Indian food.
When Erika stepped onto that stage, it wasn't just her words that grabbed attention, it was her entire presence. People still can't wrap their heads around how she spoke just weeks after losing her husband, delivering lines that felt more like a bold statement than a heartfelt tribute. One line in particular stopped everyone cold. "No one will ever replace my husband, except JD." That single quote detonated across the internet. But it wasn't just what she said, it was how she carried herself. The tight leather pants. JD's hand resting casually on her waist. Her fingers brushing through his hair. Every subtle gesture caught on camera, and fans couldn't agree if it was comfort or something far more intimate. Comment sections exploded with one question: how long are we going to keep pretending this is just grief? Because at some point, the emotion stopped looking like sorrow and started feeling like a public unveiling. Since that moment, people have noticed a shift in Erika's energy on camera. Her confidence, her flawless styling, her polished tone, nothing fits the image of someone still mourning. Online investigators have been dissecting clips from every appearance since September 10th, and the verdict is unsettling. Her reactions don't match her story. But that's not even the most shocking part. Behind closed doors, whispers are circulating that Trump's inner circle has already started grooming J.D. Vance for something massive, something that could reshape the political landscape completely.
My wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you...
Reports are now surfacing that certain political insiders, including one of Trump's closest allies, Laura, have allegedly confirmed it outright. Once Trump's second term ends, J.D. Vance could be positioned to lead the country for a full 8 years. And that's when fans started asking the question everyone's whispering about. Is the connection between J.D. and Erika personal or purely political? Because whatever it is, it's beginning to look like a meticulously orchestrated rise to power, and the entire world is watching. Let's take a closer look at Erika's movements since Charlie's passing, because her actions have fueled endless speculation. Since September 10th, she hasn't taken a genuine break from the spotlight, interviews, public appearances, podcasts, charity events. She's everywhere. Observers note that she's always perfectly styled, composed, and camera-ready, as if every moment is staged. Then came the statement that ignited every news feed, Erika saying, Vance is the only man who can truly compare to Charlie. That one line sent shockwaves and turned the entire narrative upside down.
Is that I did grow up in a religious household. My parents are Hindu, and that was one of the things that made them such good parents, that make them really very good people. And so I think I've seen the power of that in my own.
People couldn't believe how bold that statement sounded, especially considering how recent everything still is. It no longer came across as grief. It felt like strategy. And that's exactly what fans are starting to suspect. Online investigators are convinced Erika isn't just seeking sympathy, she's meticulously shaping her image. One viral post on X, formerly Twitter, summed it up bluntly, calling it now J.D. Vance will move on from his current marriage and end up with recent widow Erika Kirk. Together, they'll become the power couple of the 2028 campaign. That post blew up across social media, with people reposting, dissecting, and debating every single word. Some say it's pure speculation, but others argue the pieces fit together too perfectly to ignore. Between Erika's media push and JD's rising political influence, this theory is beginning to feel less like gossip and more like a carefully plotted play for the highest seat in America. So the question now is, are we witnessing a love story, a calculated PR move, or maybe a mix of both? Either way, it's impossible to look away. One post that's gaining serious traction online suggests J.D. Vance might even use religion as the reason to end his marriage. The theory claims he'll announce that his wife, Usha, who practices Hinduism, refused to convert, and that their relationship has simply drifted apart over irreconcilable beliefs. Then, the story predicts he would marry Christian evangelist Erika Kirk, framing it as a perfect union between two people who connected through shared grief and loss. True or not, the theory is stirring massive conversation. And here's where it gets even more emotional. Online communities are showing genuine concern for Usha. Many observers note she's been looking drained and withdrawn, fueling sympathy and speculation that she's struggling to cope under all this scrutiny. Fans aren't just imagining it either. JD's recent public comments haven't made things any easier. There are clips now circulating where JD makes casual remarks about their cultural differences, and many viewers say it comes across as dismissive or even borderline disrespectful. It's uncomfortable to watch, especially for those who have followed their relationship from the beginning, back when JD proudly claimed that love could overcome religion. Before Erika Kirk stepped into the spotlight, JD and Usha always presented a united front, insisting that their different faiths made them stronger, not divided. But now the public is asking, what changed? Is this really a genuine drift in their marriage? Or is it all part of something far bigger unfolding behind the scenes? Is all of this just a private marital drift, or is it part of a bigger narrative being crafted for JD's political image? Either way, the online chatter is growing louder by the day, and Usha's silence is starting to speak volumes. Fast forward to today, and the situation between JD and Usha Vance seems to have taken a sharp turn. His recent public remarks have left many viewers genuinely shocked. In interviews and speeches, he's made comments that some see as embarrassing for Usha, particularly when he said he still hopes she might one day convert to Christianity for him. Fans were quick to respond, dissecting every word and gesture, wondering what it truly says about their relationship. Viewers were quick to point out just how uncomfortable that sounded, labeling it tone-deaf and outdated. But what truly grabbed attention was when JD seemed to throw subtle shade at Usha's family, claiming they weren't particularly religious. That line didn't sit right with the public because Usha has shared a very different story in past interviews. She once spoke warmly about her upbringing, explaining that her parents raised her in a loving, faith-centered Hindu household, and that their spirituality shaped them into kind, generous people. So when JD made that comment, many viewers saw it as dismissive, sparking more questions about his intentions and adding fuel to the growing online debate about the state of their marriage. Many viewers called it unnecessary, even disrespectful, especially considering that Usha has consistently supported him throughout his political rise. Social media erupted instantly, with clips, side-by-side comparisons, and comments like, "Why downplay her background just to boost your own image?" Moments like this have everyone questioning what's truly happening behind the scenes of this marriage. Whatever is going on, it no longer looks peaceful. And now, things get even more eyebrow-raising. Why is JD Vance suddenly changing the story and throwing subtle shade at Usha's family when the receipts tell a completely different story? People haven't forgotten that JD and Usha once had a stunning interfaith wedding, complete with a Hindu priest performing traditional blessings. Photos from the ceremony show Usha in full traditional attire, surrounded by family, while JD proudly participated in every ritual. Usha has shared in past interviews that the ceremony was deeply meaningful, a way to honor both love and faith at the same time. That's why so. Many people are left confused and frankly disappointed watching JD downplay that history now. Fans online are saying it feels like he's rewriting their story to appeal to a specific political audience. Some are even speculating that it's intentional, a way to create a narrative that justifies ending the marriage. The theory goes like this. JD frames it as Usha refusing to convert, spins it as a spiritual divide he cannot overcome, and then, conveniently, moves on, potentially with Erika Kirk, who fits the image of a conservative, faith-driven partner that would strengthen his political appeal. And the timing is undeniably suspicious. Just 1 month after her husband's passing, Erika publicly remarked that she sees similarities between her late partner and JD Vance, a line that immediately dominated headlines. Then, almost immediately, JD begins making public comments about his wife's religion. Viewers are starting to connect the dots, and the pattern looks far too deliberate to ignore. Now everyone's asking, is this about love, faith, or pure political strategy? Because whatever is happening, it's starting to feel far too calculated to be mere coincidence. Now JD Vance is publicly saying his wife won't convert to Christianity, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. Just as rumors about his next political move begin to heat up, a new theory is going viral online, and it's shocking. People are speculating that JD could try to invoke something called Pauline privilege as a way out of his marriage. For those unfamiliar, Pauline privilege is an old Catholic rule, based on the writings of the Apostle Paul, that technically allows a Catholic convert to end a marriage. Isn't considered sacramental. In simple terms, if one partner isn't a baptized Christian, the marriage isn't recognized as sacred under church law, and the Catholic partner can legally end it and still remarry within the church. And here's the kicker. JD is Catholic. Usha is not. So, according to this theory, that could give him a religious loophole to exit his current marriage without major backlash and still have a full church wedding with Erika Kirk later on. To be clear, though, this remains purely unconfirmed speculation. Scenes. Because think about it, every move feels strategic. The softened language in his recent speeches, the subtle distancing from Usha's cultural background, the sudden religious framing of their marriage. It's all happening right as JD is reportedly tightening connections with key conservative donors and faith-based organizations. And here's where it gets even messier. A few weeks ago, Erika Kirk reposted a quote about finding love through shared purpose, just days after JD appeared at a private fundraiser with several mutual acquaintances they both share from the Turning Point USA circle. That overlap has fans convinced that what's being presented as coincidence might actually be calculated coordination. Whether or not that's true, the optics are undeniable. JD seems to be rebranding himself, and Usha may just be the first casualty in a larger political transformation. Now combing through every detail trying to make sense of it all. The biggest red flag, according to online detectives, is how quickly Erika seemed to pivot after Charlie's death. Within weeks, her social media tone shifted from grief to motivation, posting quotes about new beginnings, divine timing, and being placed exactly where you're meant to be. On their own, those could just be coping mechanisms. But when you line them up next to J.D. Vance's sudden religious comments and his growing proximity to Erika, it paints a picture that feels way too synchronized. Some users even pointed out how both J.D. and Erika started using nearly identical phrasing in their public statements, talking about faith missions, moral alignment, and God's plan as if their messaging was being coordinated. And now the question everyone's asking is, was this emotional alignment or a strategic one? Because if the latter is true, it could mean that the whole situation, from Charlie's tragic passing to JD's marital shift, might be part of a carefully managed narrative designed to launch a new political era built on shared tragedy and faith-based unity. One saying that outright manipulation can be proven, but the coincidences are stacking up in a way that's getting harder to ignore. Comment sections are full of people questioning how Erika managed to land multiple high-profile interviews within weeks, all focused on her strength and faith, while subtly linking her narrative to J.D. Vance's values. It's the kind of PR alignment that doesn't just happen by chance. And what's really got people suspicious is how synchronized their messaging has become. Both J.D. and Erika have been using similar biblical references in speeches and posts, almost mirroring each other's tone. Viewers are calling it the faith rebrand, suggesting that this might be the soft launch of a new conservative power duo, one built on shared beliefs, mutual ambition, and a perfectly timed tragedy. Whether that's true or not, the optics are undeniably strange, and now everyone's waiting to see what happens next, because this story is far from over. New theory just dropped, and it's completely flipped the conversation. According to several viral posts, some users believe Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance might have been quietly connected long before Charlie's death. The theory claims that Erika had been in contact with J.D.'s campaign team months prior, allegedly offering faith-based PR consulting for his upcoming political push. Now, there's no hard evidence backing that up, but screenshots and archived posts are circulating that seem to show overlapping events and mutual connections between their teams. And that's where things start looking even more suspicious. Because right after those supposed early meetings, Erika's own public image began to shift, more political, more faith-focused, more aligned with JD's messaging. Some online sleuths believe that this entire narrative we're watching unfold might have been set in motion way earlier than anyone realized. Whether that's true or just a perfectly timed coincidence, one thing's for sure, the internet's treating this like the biggest political soap opera of the decade. Grief and faith. While some of it is clearly speculation, the concern online is real. Fans are noticing that Usha has been unusually quiet in interviews and on social media, sparking fears that the stress of public scrutiny, combined with JD's recent comments, is taking a visible toll on her. People are dissecting every appearance, every photo, and every subtle gesture, asking, is she holding it together, or is this silence a sign of deeper emotional strain? Threads across TikTok, X, and Reddit are filled with discussions, theories, and heartfelt messages hoping she's okay. The situation has shifted from political drama to human concern, making it clear that whatever happens next, Usha Vance's well-being is now at the center of the story, and that alone has the internet glued to every new development. Grief. It's obviously just speculation, but it shows how far people's imaginations are going with this story. The wildest part, even people who don't usually follow politics are getting caught up in this drama, analyzing every post, every interview, every tiny move that JD and Erika make. Whether it's real concern or just internet hype, the conversation has officially gone beyond politics. This has turned into a full-blown saga about power, image, and personal loyalty. But hey, that's where we'll leave it for now because this situation is evolving by the day. Video. Because if there's one thing we've learned from stories like this, it's that nothing in politics, love, or power ever happens by accident. So, what's really going on behind the smiles, the speeches, and the headlines? You tell me. Drop your theories in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share so more people can join this wild conversation. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because the next chapter in this story could break any second.